Well, so far, I don't think that the COVID lockdowns, the implementation of zero COVID policy in China, has had a big impact on global supply chains. The lockdowns that we've seen, even dating back to last summer, have been rather short lived. Even when we had cases like the port in Ningbo closing, it was only for a couple of days. As your listeners are aware, Shenzhen has already reopened. Now there's talk of a lockdown in Shenyang, where BMW has a facility mostly to sell cars in China. But I think that for the most part, China's zero COVID policy has had the biggest impact on domestic consumption, spending by Chinese consumers on goods and services rather than on manufacturing output or on global supply chains. And that's likely, I think, to continue to be the case. For example, in through the third quarter of last year, China's share of global exports hit an all-time high.
Yeah, Andy, I was just going to ask you about that, right? Not so much impact on the lockdown, impact on manufacturing, but more on consumption and what people spend and buy, et cetera. I'm sure you know that on social media in China, a lot of folks are finally going, look, enough of this, all right? We've done it before. We're not going to do this again. You want us to do what? You got to be kidding me. What are the chances of, I guess, social disruptions, or dare I even say it, protests, now that this is happening?
Well, I think we have to be careful when we look at social media to get insight into what's happening in any place, whether it's the United States or China. Often the loudest voices on social media are not representative of the broader population. And from my regular contacts with my friends and business contacts in China, clearly people are frustrated. But I also think that there's an awareness that the Chinese government has put public health over economic growth, and that it's actually been beneficial. A lot of people in China are aware of the problems that COVID caused, the rate of hospitalizations and deaths in the United States and in many parts of Europe. And I think they appreciate the fact that that wasn't the case in China. And while they're frustrated, I'm not getting the sense that people are fed up with it. They just wish it was better. But I think that there is still support for continuing on this path, especially because the government recently has announced plans to take a gradually more relaxed approach to this, recognizing that the Omicron variant that's running through China right now is not as dangerous or deadly as the previous variants of COVID.